This is the story of a rising star who had everything: fame, talent, a bright future, until obsession destroyed it all and cost an innocent woman her life. Before we uncover this chilling story, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss our videos. If you are already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us. Let's get started. In 2012, at the Summer Olympics in London, the star of a young Puerto Rican boxer, Félix Verdejo, shone brightly. He was called a diamond, one of the most promising athletes of his country. But what happens when golden dreams turn into nightmares? Experts predicted he would win titles and gold medals. At that time, it seemed to everyone that this talented and motivated young man would reach fantastic heights in sports. So how did he fall so far? In 2021, the name of the boxer appeared in world media again. But this time, in the crime section. What could make an Olympic hero become a criminal? This is the story of a teenage obsession that grew into a dangerous addiction and led to a terrible tragedy. It is also about how the man who delivered the most famous knockout of 2014, praised by two-time Olympic champion Vasyl Lomachenko, almost received a death sentence. Despite strong evidence and confessions from the boxer's accomplice, Félix himself still refuses to admit guilt. Is he truly innocent, or just refusing to face the truth? The future boxing star was born on May 19, 1993, in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He grew up in a modest, large family and loved sports from an early age. As a child, he dreamed of becoming a baseball player, but his life took a different turn because of one strange incident. When Félix was 9 years old, a family friend visited with his son, who was the same age. The boys played in the yard, but suddenly got into a fight. The parents pulled them apart, and Félix's father told him something that would change everything. If you want to fight someone, do it with boxing gloves. After that day, Félix asked to be taken to a local gym. There, as he later admitted, he fell in love with boxing from his very first training session. At the age of 16, he won the Pan American Junior Championships. A year later, he won his country's championship. And a year after that, he went to the Olympic Games in London, where he reached the quarterfinals. That same year began his brilliant career in the professional ring. In total, Verdejo had 29 fights, gaining 27 confident victories. In 2014, he was recognized as the author of the best knockout in the fight against Sergio Villanueva. A year later, Félix won his first championship belt with the WBO Latino title, which he subsequently defended 6 more times in 2 years. Everyone who saw him in the fight had no doubt this young man would write his name in the history of world boxing. Now, let's get to know Keishla Rodríguez. The girl was born in November 1993 in San Juan. Her parents, Jose and Keishla Rodríguez, had another daughter, Nicole, and also raised Keishla's son, Jonathan, from a previous marriage of the woman. Keishla grew up an open and sociable girl. She did well in school and adored animals, dreaming of becoming a veterinarian in the future. Keishla was very close to her sister, Narim. They told each other everything, their secrets, their problems. Keishla and the boxer, Félix Verdejo, went to the same school. They were the same age and had known each other since they were kids. When they got older, they started dating. In 2011, Keishla's parents divorced. Her mother, Keishla, moved to Florida to live with family. Keishla and Narim were adults by then, so they stayed in San Juan. The sisters had their own lives but stayed close. They always talked about what was happening with them. Meanwhile, Félix was becoming famous. At just 18, he had already been in the Olympics. He started dating a 14-year-old girl named Eliza, who was still in school but dreamed of being a model. Her parents didn't mind Félix was a star, but Félix liked attention. As he got more famous, many women wanted to be with him. He had short relationships with different women. Even though he was with Elisa, he still saw Keishla sometimes. Keishla's sister and her mother knew about the affair, and they disapproved. The situation was unclear. Eliza believed she was the boxer's only true love. She planned to marry him. She made big plans for their future together. Meanwhile, Keishla knew Félix had a fiancé, but Félix would not let Keishla go. She had fallen deeply in love with him for the first time. Part of her still hoped to be his chosen one. In 2016, the boxer married young Eliza. She was nearly 19 years old then. Elisa had become a well-known model by that time. She had thousands of social media followers. She had also opened her own beauty studio for eyelash extensions. In August that same year, just months after the wedding, the athlete had a bad motorcycle crash. He was speeding on his bike. Doctors treated him for serious head injuries, bruises, and cuts. His trainer Ricky Marquez worried Félix might ruin his career at its peak. But Félix recovered faster than expected. He soon returned to boxing. In September 2019, the boxer posted a social media photo. In the photo's comment, he wrote, "Soon I will meet my daddy's princess." 1 month later, he announced his daughter's birth. They named her Miranda Verdejo Santiago. Publicly, the young man appeared to be a loving husband, but secretly, he kept meeting with Keishla. His wife did not know. Keishla could not move on. Elisa later admitted she suspected her husband cheated. Each time, he would cry and promise to leave his mistress. Keishla repeatedly tried to end the painful relationship. Félix would not allow it. She dated no other men. The boxer had threatened her. He warned it would not end well if she saw someone else. Keishla had loved Verdejo since high school. Despite everything, her feelings remained. Rodríguez pursued her planned career with animals. She worked at a veterinary medicine and aesthetics center. Co-workers called her hardworking and very responsible. She lived with 2 dogs and a cat. In 2020, Eliza found her husband's messages. He had been writing to several mistresses, including Keishla. His wife confronted him. She threw him out of their home. She threatened divorce. She said she would not let him see their daughter. Eliza's threats worked. The boxer's career was declining at that time. He could not afford more problems. For a while, he stopped seeing Rodríguez, but Félix still controlled her every move. After a few months, their secret meetings started again. In April 2021, Keishla learned she was pregnant. She bought a test at the drugstore. The results confirmed her fears. First, she called her sister. Her sister knew about the difficult relationship. Keishla told her everything. Abortion was not an option. Keishla was 27 years old now. She was ready to have the child, even alone. Days later, Keishla told the father. She hoped he would accept the news. Félix reacted badly. He became angry. He told his mistress to see a doctor. If the test was positive, she must get an abortion. Rodríguez refused firmly. The boxer began threatening her. He insisted she end the pregnancy. Félix said an illegitimate child would ruin his reputation. He could not allow that. After Keishla's hospital visit, doctors confirmed her pregnancy. She now had official proof. She called Félix and told him. This made him extremely angry. Félix yelled at her. He demanded she end the pregnancy immediately. Keishla refused completely. The athlete then changed his approach. He said he did not believe her. He wanted to see the medical certificate himself. He arranged to meet Keishla that evening. They would meet in a public place. This did not surprise her. They always met carefully, to avoid attention. Days before the meeting, Félix visited his old friend. Luis Antonio Cadiz worked at a local machine shop. He also had criminal connections. He sold illegal drugs. Félix explained the situation briefly. He asked for help dealing with his pregnant mistress. Luis had been on police radar before. The risk of jail scared him, but Félix kept pushing. He promised everything would go smoothly. He said police would never suspect them. Felix also offered good money. Finally, Luis agreed to help. Now Felix had an accomplice. Felix called Keishla. He said he wanted to meet her on the evening of April 29th. He would confirm her pregnancy and decide what to do next. After talking to him, Keishla called her sister back. She told her everything. She still hoped Felix would accept the child. She thought he might stop demanding an abortion. But Narration felt alarmed by the situation. She knew Felix had threatened her sister before. She worried he might harm Keishla. Narration called their mother and shared her fears. Together, they tried to stop Keishla from going to the meeting, but they could not change her mind. At the scheduled time, Rodríguez arrived in her Kia Forte. She brought the doctor's note. Verdejo came in his pickup truck. Luis hid in the back. Keishla got into Felix's car right away. She showed him the test results. He brought up ending the pregnancy again. Keishla cried and refused once more. This led to a loud argument. The shouting grew intense. Suddenly, Felix punched Keishla in the head. She lost consciousness immediately. While she was still unconscious, Felix took a syringe from the glove box. It contained a strong, illegal drug that Luis had gotten for him. Felix injected Keishla with it. Then, Felix and Luis carried her to the truck bed. They had already prepared wire and a concrete block there. The men tied Rodríguez up. They attached the heavy block to her. Then they covered her with a tarp to hide her. Felix returned to the pickup's cab. Luis got behind the wheel of Keishla's car. They drove together to the San Jose Lagoon Bridge. The area was empty at night. After checking that no one was watching, they threw Keishla into the water. She was still alive when they did this. However, they decided to fire test shots. They used the guns they brought. This ensured the victim would have no chance. After completing the crime, each man went home. Keishla's co-workers grew worried first. She did not come to work the next day. The veterinary medicine and aesthetics center expected her. Keishla always acted responsibly. She never missed work without calling. When she did not answer her phone, they contacted her sister. Narration tried calling Keishla many times. She got no answer. Then she went to Keishla's house. No one came to the door, but Narration had a spare key. She entered without trouble. However, she found only hungry animals. They had not eaten for nearly a full day. Narration panicked now. She understood something terrible had happened to Keishla. She called their mother immediately and explained everything. Then she reported her fears to the police. She told them about the threats against her sister. She also called Felix. He claimed he stayed home all evening and night with his family. He said he attended no meeting. The missing girl's mother flew from Florida to San Juan right away. She thought Felix might have taken Keishla to a private clinic. She feared he forced an abortion without consent. Keishla refused to consider her daughter might be dead. Police first questioned Keishla's neighbors and co-workers. None noticed anything unusual. They provided no helpful information. Meanwhile, posts about Rodríguez's disappearance spread on social media. People shared requests for information about her whereabouts. The case gained public attention fast. When people learned the missing woman dated a famous athlete and carried his child, reporters swarmed the family. Rodríguez's relatives spoke openly. They shared their suspicions. They directly accused Felix of involvement. On April 30th, Keishla's car was found abandoned on the east side of the city. Her documents and personal belongings were inside. No signs of struggle were found in the car. This gave small hope that the owner might still be alive. On May 1st, a passerby, walking on the bridge over the lagoon, saw a strange shape in the shallow water. It looked like a human body. He reported his discovery to the police. Officers soon pulled a young woman's body from the water. It was likely the same person the whole city had been searching for. Members of the Rodriguez family came to identify the body. They hoped until the last moment it was not Keishla. Their hopes were not realized. The body had been in the water for several days and had changed much, but the girl was identified right away by a distinctive tattoo on her arm. When news of this terrible discovery spread, city residents became angry. They began holding spontaneous protests. They demanded punishment for those responsible. That same day, Verdejo was detained and taken to the police station for questioning. The athlete strongly denied any involvement. He claimed he was home with his family the night Keishla disappeared. With no evidence to charge him, he was released. Félix was released on his own recognizance. One key witness was the athlete's legal wife. During her first police interview, she admitted knowing about his affair with Keishla. However, she claimed this was her first time hearing about the pregnancy. Most importantly, she failed to confirm her husband's alibi. She stated he was not home the night of the murder. Investigators first checked traffic camera footage near the bridge. They discovered Félix's pickup truck and the victim's car traveling together. The Kia Ford was clearly not being driven by its owner. That same day, police seized the boxer's truck for forensic analysis. Examiners found strands of the victim's hair in the vehicle bed. Luis became the first suspect to surrender. He promised full cooperation in exchange for a lighter sentence. Authorities also took Félix into custody. He refused to answer questions or assist the investigation. He maintained his innocence despite overwhelming evidence. Police confiscated Félix's legally registered firearm. Ballistics matched it to shots fired from the bridge. Cell phone records placed both Félix and Keishla at the same location that night. Keishla's funeral was held on May 8th. The ceremony received national news coverage. It served both as a memorial and a protest. The event demanded maximum punishment. For the killers, it also highlighted Puerto Rico's ongoing crisis of gender violence. The coffin with Rodriguez's body came to the cemetery in a white carriage, not a normal hearse. White flower petals fell on it from above. Many famous Puerto Ricans spoke about this big case. These included show business stars, athletes, politicians, and important people. Verdejo faced charges for several crimes. These were carjacking, kidnapping, planned murder, and killing an unborn child. Together, these crimes could have meant the death penalty. But from the start, the victim's family asked for life in prison instead. They wanted the killer to suffer in jail for his whole life. The court hearings were delayed, many times because of the worldwide coronavirus pandemic. The trial finally happened online in spring 2021. The court decided this was a group crime planned in advance. It showed special cruelty against a pregnant woman they could piece together. What happened that night mainly because of Luis's statements. He did not deny his guilt. He said he got the drug for the injection when his friend asked. He also brought the wire and concrete block to hide the body. But Félix kept saying he had nothing to do with the crime. Félix's denials could not change the situation. The boxer's wife, who testified in court, filed for divorce soon after his arrest. She tried to distance herself from the case. She focused on growing her business and raising their young daughter. Reports indicate Eliza Santiago has remarried recently. In an interview, Eliza said she received many anonymous threats. These included death threats against her and Miranda. Many people suspected the athlete's wife planned the crime. However, no proof was found. In summer 2023, the jury reviewed all. They were ready to give their final decision. Félix Verdejo and Luis Cadiz were found guilty on all charges. However, sentencing has not happened yet. The next court date is set for mid-November 2023. Most likely, they will never leave prison. This is for killing Keishla Rodríguez and her unborn child. And that is the story behind a promising life that took a dark turn. But what do you think? Was justice truly served? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story shocking or eye-opening, give the video a like and share it with someone who should hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more real-life crime stories. Never miss another story that needs to be heard. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay curious.